What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here to this channel, what's up? My name is Ryan Padilla, and today I wanted to talk about the difference between Dracula and Nosferatu. Yep, I wanted to talk about this for a while now on my YouTube channel, but I have been very busy with other stuff that I've been talking about on my channel for a while now, and I'm like, why don't I talk about the difference with this? So yep, today I wanted to talk about what's the difference between Dracula and Nosferatu. So let's get started on talking about it, right, guys? Alright, so here we go. In Dracula, Count Dracula, he's more of a human-like, charming and sophisticated character we all know, who is a vampire, the Prince of Darkness, you know. He's always been more of a human-like character in Dracula, you know. Count Dracula, he's more of a human-like, charming, sophisticated character, a vampire, you know, who always greets everybody, you know, since wearing a vampire cape, having a good style hair and teeth, and you know, everything. While Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu, he is more of a animal, human, rat-like creature type of character, you know, having a more bald head with big ears, you know, and plus his teeth, and also fang hand claws, you know, because he's more of a creature type character, more of an animal, human, rat-like creature. The couple characters in both of these stories, in Dracula, the couple characters are Jonathan Harker and his wife, Mina Harker. While in Nosferatu, that one is, the couple characters in Nosferatu are Thomas Hutter and his wife, Ellen Harter. Count Dracula lives in his own castle, which is called Dracula's Castle, or anything, you know, located in the Carpathian Mountains in Transylvania, Romania, in Bargo, whatever it's at, you know. While in Nosferatu, Count Orlok, he lives in the same castle as well, in the same area in Carpathian Mountains as well, you know. Both castles are described more sinister, more negligent, more anything, more creepy, and you know, everything. Count Dracula's castle is more, you know, like a big castle. When Count Dracula always sees people coming in, he walks downstairs to see who it is. In Dracula, Abraham Van Helsing is always the doctor and always the character in Dracula, while in Nosferatu, the character is Alban Eberhard von Franz, a character who is like, Nosferatu, or you know, anything when sensing something is wrong. In Dracula is set in the year 1890s in London, while in Nosferatu is set in 1830s Germany, you know. Also, both characters bite victims as well, but when Count Dracula, he starts biting his victims through the neck, you know, after he bites them, they become new vampires as well, you know, joining him. While in Nosferatu, Count Orlok's bite is fatal, and after he bites his victims, they don't turn into vampires, they instantly die after he bites them. Daylight is always awakening or something for both of these characters. In Dracula, Count Dracula, he is weakened by daylight, but he still goes outside, you know, when his powers are not working during daylight, but at nighttime his powers work in nighttime, but he is weakened during daylight, but he still goes outside, you know, going out to the park or the theater, you know, or anything. In Nosferatu, Count Orlok cannot be in daylight because daylight is fatal to him, because if he goes out in daylight, he is completely destroyed and gone in smoke. Both of them have servants in both stories. In Dracula, Count Dracula meets Renfield, a real estate lawyer who wanted to make a deal with Dracula to help him and his family, but Count Dracula ends up hiring Renfield to be his own servant or familiar. While in Nosferatu, a character in that film is Herknock, who is a boss to Thomas Hutter in that film, who sends Thomas to go see Count Orlok. And months or minutes later, we see that Herknock is institutionalized by police in Germany, And when they go to question him, he starts laughing. He goes like, he's coming. He's coming. So yeah, Herknock is also a devoted servant to Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu. So yep, both of these stories are vampire movies, Since, let's talk about the facts about Dracula first. Dracula started out as a book of the same name written by Bram Stoker, published back in 1897, but also in the mid 1890s. Before or after Bram Stoker published his book, he also gave permission for anybody to adapt it as a on-stage theater play, a stage play adaptation, but as long as he gets the theater rights, So hopefully Bram Stoker was impressed with the stage play adaptation of his book, because hopefully he was impressed because in 1912 Bram Stoker passed away, and all the rights to his work was held by his wife, Florence Stoker. During the mid-1910s, Piranha Films wanted to make their own film adaptation of Dracula and negotiated with Bram Stoker's estate and also negotiated with Bram Stoker's wife to sell them the film rights. But Florence Stoker rejected to sell the film rights to her husband's work. So Piranha Films decided to make their own unauthorized film based on Dracula, but making a few changes so that they don't get legal action, Count Dracula was renamed to Count Orlok. The couple characters, Jonathan Harker and Mina Harker, both were renamed Thomas Hutter and Ellen Hutter. Abraham Van Helsing was renamed to Alban Eberhard von Franz. Servant Renfield was renamed to Herknock. Also, the setting was changed from 1890s London to 1830s Germany, And Piranha Films made their own unauthorized movie based on Dracula called Nosferatu, which came out in 1922 as a silent film adaptation, but this movie is an unauthorized film based on Dracula. Max Schreck played the role of Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu, in that film, and he did a great job in that silent film because everybody knows that he did a great job in that movie. Piranha Films was hoping that they won't get legal action after they made changes to make their own adaptation, to make sure it stays far away from the Dracula storyline, But it kind of didn't work out because after the movie came out, Bram Stoker estate and Bram Stoker's wife filed a lawsuit against Piranha Films for copyright infringement. The judge favored for Bram Stoker's family, and the judge ordered for Piranha Films to destroy all copies of the film immediately, And yeah, Piranha Films ended up destroying all copies and prints of the film at the request of the judge. But one of the copies or prints of the film survived, and one of them were able to make it into the United States in either in 1928 or 1929. When it was released in the United States, people were kind of impressed with this movie, in the United States, because nobody thought this movie was a great vampire movie of Nosferatu. In 1931, guys, Universal Studios made their own classic monster movie we all know, Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi as the title character, Count Dracula. And plus, it was amazing for that movie to come out. So yep, Dracula by Universal Studios was a classic hit for everyone, you know? And for the start of Universal Studios is monster movies. Monster movies like The Mummy, Scorpion King, The Invisible Man, and most of any monster movies Universal can think of. Nosferatu also made his debut on SpongeBob SquarePants as a recurring character or supporting character, making his debut on the episode Graveyard Shift, you know, where SpongeBob and Squidward are working at the Krusty Krab for the midnight shift all night, and they're not noticing that the lights are flicking on and off. And then at the end of that episode, they thought the hash-slinging slasher was behind this, but it was just another person wanting to apply for a job at Krusty Krab. And everybody, they turn around, they see it was Nosferatu flicking the lights on and off. And they're like, Nosferatu! So yep, Nosferatu was a good character that appeared in SpongeBob SquarePants, and he later appeared in the new seasons of the episodes as well for the show. In 2024, guys, Nosferatu was rebooted, directed by Robert Eggers, and starring actor Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, along with Nicholas Hoult and Lily Rose Depp playing the couple characters Thomas Hutter and Ellen Hutter. And plus, William Dafoe also starred in the film as Albin Harborhart von France, and also everybody starred in the reboot as well. And yep guys, I already gave a film review on that movie 2 years ago from my last video, saying that it was amazing and good. The differences between the original 1922 silent film and the 2024 reboot was that the original Nosferatu film from 1922, the silent film, was more like an independent movie, while the reboot from 2024 was kind of a more of a corny type of movie, you know, like, you know, anything to the story, you know. And that's all I can say for what the difference is between Dracula and Nosferatu, guys. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below of what you all thought of this video, and let me know in the comments down below of what your favorite vampire movie is, like Dracula or Nosferatu. Also, I forgot to mention, guys, the differences, you know, in Dracula, Count Dracula always have bats, while Nosferatu, aka Count Orlok, he always has rats. So yep, there was a big differences in that stories, you know. Alright guys, so I'll see you all in the next video, and yep, bye!